So there's quite a few ways to do audio for YouTube videos. This is one of them. This is another one. But let's go back home and talk about it. Those two methods were using a mic plugged directly into the camera. In the first clip, I was using the Rode Video Mic Go 2, this one. And in the second clip, I was using the Rode Wireless Go 2, which is this system right here. And both of these were plugged directly into the mic port on my A7 IV. And in the second clip, you could even see the transmitter with its little mic on it on my shirt, actually. Using a mic plugged into the camera directly is the easiest way to record audio for pretty much any type of video, because most cameras and even a lot of phones, although a lot of new phones don't, have a 3.5mm mic port. And it's not only easy from a production standpoint, but also from a post-production standpoint, because you only have to deal with using one video file or one group of video files directly from the camera, and the audio is just built into it. Is this the way to get the absolute best audio possible? No, but it's good enough for pretty much anything, and far better than using the built-in mic on the camera, which is what you're listening to now, because they don't sound great. One other way to record audio internally while using higher quality and usually more expensive microphones is using a camera with built-in XLR inputs. Now, the two mics that I've used so far are XLR mics, but they're not plugged right into my camera because I don't actually have one of these interfaces to show you. But some cinema cameras have built-in XLR inputs, and if they don't have them on the body, some of them will have an external handle that attaches via the multi-interface shoe, like the FX3, FX30, FX6 from Sony. They have XLR inputs on a handle that you can have attached or not. So it kind of makes it optional in that way. So if you don't need the XLR audio, you can just not put the handle on. And you can also get like aftermarket versions of interfaces like these. They just usually don't have the handle part, like the XLR K3M from Sony, and I know Panasonic makes a unit like it as well. Now, like I said, I don't have an XLR interface for my camera, but I do have XLR mics. This one's not plugged in. So the other main option here is to record audio externally, either with a dedicated audio recorder, like a Zoom F6, F8, F3, all those types of things. There's a bunch of different ones from different brands. Or, as you can see in the background there, directly onto your computer. I'm using Adobe Audition. And because I record in my room here close enough to my computer that I can just plug in a mic, then I can just have it running straight into an interface on my computer. I currently use the Rode AI1 for this mic. I also have an Elgato Wave XLR. Now, I used to use both of them at the same time on stream, but because I have a Rode XCM50 USB mic, I'm currently not using both as XLR inputs, but I'm figuring out what I'm going to do with both interfaces. There's a couple benefits to recording externally. One, you can potentially use better equipment, so get higher quality audio, but you instantly have redundant audio. Because right now, my camera is still recording audio, whether it has a mic on it or not. I usually do put my video mic on the camera to record audio. One, just so it's easier to sync, so it's like a higher quality source to sync with the proper audio. But also, like, if something happens with the recording of this mic, I have a backup. Now, in this video, would not be ideal because I don't have a mic on the camera right now, but we're just gonna hope that it is fine. The big downsides to recording externally are, one, it's just more effort to set up. You can't just plug in a mic to your camera and go. And then there's also the extra step of not only managing more files, because you now have a video file and an audio file at the minimum, but then you also need to sync them in post. Now, I edit in DaVinci Resolve, and it does have a feature to automatically sync clips using the waveform. You can also sync using timecode, but that's a whole separate thing. That's a much more professional thing. I don't have anything that does timecode, so we're just going to not talk about that. But you can sync it automatically with waveform, and it's pretty good, but it's usually about 1 or 2 frames off, so I always have to adjust it. But that's why you'll always see me doing one of these YouTuber claps to make sure that it's easy to sync the audio, because when you just have a straight line that you can line up with each other, it's a lot better than trying to line up a whole word or sentence. And syncing audio it's not a big hassle, but it's just a step that I'd rather not do. So I would like to eventually get a camera with XLR inputs like an FX3 or an FX6 or something like that. One benefit to recording externally or using a wireless microphone is you don't have to be close to the camera. If you have a microphone on the camera that, you know, realistically you want to be as close to the microphone as possible. So the further away you get, it's just going to sound worse and worse. So you're very limited in the lenses you can use and the type of shots you can get. Whereas if you record externally or wirelessly, you have a bit more freedom when it comes to lenses, focal lengths, the type of shots that you can get. And I've said this before, but I just prefer the look of telephoto lenses like this 85mm. And I actually just ordered a 7200 G Master, so it's going to take a month to get here, but I'm keen. But I prefer that telephoto look over the wide angle of the 20mm lens that I've been using for most of this video. So if you're going to be close to your camera, the easiest thing to do would just be using a mic like this directly on top of your camera. They're designed to literally mount to any camera. But if you want to be further away from your lens like this, then you're going to want to either record externally or wirelessly. So that is how to record audio for YouTube or any other type of video, really. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. While you're down there, do all the other things. And I'll see you next time. Okay, bye. BTS. 3.5mm mic input. What am I doing recording audio with the fan on? What am I? Oh my god. We gotta change the lenses.